want answers? I think I'm entitled. You want answers? I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
We are the Madmen of Masculinity.
Your home for healthy masculinity. We're just real men having real conversations for you.
It's your boys.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, I am Kirk M. Samuels.
And I am Jason B. Kendrick.
And we are the Madmen of Masculinity.
That's right. We're just real men having real conversations for you.
You know, we both wearing our shirts today, man. Finally, we're finally matching.
Today.
We got more than one shirt. We don't share the same shirt. We just pass back and forth. Y'all probably were.
I know you thought we were.
Dude, I might get canceled today.
Oh, that's why you came correct.
I might personally get canceled today.
Hey, these things.
I'm kind of, I got some bangs.
Let's just put it out there. Trigger alert.
Heavy trigger alert today.
This is uncomfortable truths.
Heavy trigger alert today, man.
Yeah, which is not, uncomfortable truths are not the most popular thing out there, especially on media today. So
yeah,
we're gonna dig into some things and talk some story, and hopefully, if you can listen with an open mind and take it for what it is, keep the meat, spit out the bones, you might actually gain from this conversation.
I don't even care if you got open mind. I mean, at this point, like today, like some things, especially when it comes to, all right, somebody got to say something. Mm-hmm. Maybe I'm just getting a little crotchety, front porch rocking chair kind of thing, yelling at the people walking by, get off my yard and all that kind of stuff, but man, sometimes I just see stuff and I'm like, all right, man, come on.
Yeah.
Somebody's got to say something.
Yeah.
Somebody's got to say something. Something needs to be said, and somebody's got to say something.
Well, I guess it's going to be us.
I guess it's going to be us, man.
It's going to be us.
Today is going to be us. So, can we talk about uncomfortable truths?
Yeah, let's talk about what is it? Comforting lies and uncomfortable truths.
All right, so here's the impetus behind this whole thing. Yeah. And most of the time, see, a lot of y'all think that, I'm the good guy and JBK is like he's the antagonist or the instigator or whatever. But I'm telling you, today he kind of pulled me back a little bit because I had some topic names, man. I was ready to go off the edge, man. But so the whole impetus behind this whole impetus, you like that? That's a big word, man. I went to public school.
I like that dictionary out.
Yeah, I did that. That was 3 syllables. Impetus, yeah. Not impotent. Impotent. That's different. That's different. Anyhow, man. So, man, I was reading in social media. I was reading on Facebook, just scrolling. Came across this post by a young lady. And I say young lady, I'm pretty sure she's younger than me.
Mm-hmm.
I would guess ballpark 30s. I don't know. I mean, who knows? But at this point, I'm on my 50th year here, so my age monitor is getting off. But anyhow, young lady posted this post on social media, Facebook, and I'm just going to summarize it. Now, sometimes we speak to men, sometimes we speak for men.
Yeah.
I think, at least from my perspective, I got a lot to say for men, and then I think at some point I got something to say to men too, because this kind of circles back to a dude, or at least some dudes. But anyhow, so her post basically summarized like this. I'm a mother of 5 daughters, and I'm currently pregnant with my 6th child. And I want to know if there's any hope for me in the current dating market, and if there's any chance of me finding a good guy, et cetera, blah, 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 blah. These kind of things were part of this post, man.
Well, and that's
where do we begin?
Well, I'm gonna put in my little 2 cents there because it actually wasn't the post itself that bothered me as much as it was the comments after, because I can understand from her position. She's actually like, I want to know if maybe there's some ideas, maybe there's some hope. I get it. She's in a situation. Now, granted, she got herself in that situation, so we wanted to bring up that fact as well. But all of the comments were, yeah, girl, because my cousin and the mailman and the Brady Bunch, they all had a bunch of kids and came together, and there wasn't a lot of reality and accountability in any of the comments. And that's what really got me, was that, can we be honest with her and let her know how hard it is and give her the facts of life that, okay, yeah, you may be able to find somebody, but it's going to be a long, hard battle, or you're looking for, 1 in a million kind of dude.
Man, I got so much. Yeah, I mean, I have, and oh, by the way, y'all need to know, man, if it wasn't for JBK today, I might say some 4-letter words like some filth and flarn, because this has kind of got me a little worked up here. I got a problem with the post, but then I also have a problem with the comments. My problem with the post is, and this is what I'm talking about in terms of us speaking for men. See, as guys, we have to live in a reality-based existence, like the facts. Like, we don't get to just, blow fluff with each other and make it seem like everything's going to be okay. We have, in our world, there's a such thing as accountability. I don't think that exists in large mass scale in at least the feminine world, modern feminine world, whatever you want to call it. I don't think accountability and like truth and honesty really has a good play in it, because I can guarantee you that every woman has gone out on like some kind of girls' date night or something like that with some friends, and there was somebody that was wearing something that she shouldn't have been wearing. And y'all ain't say nothing. Y'all let her walk out of the house with them pants on, or that skirt, or her hair looking like that, and ain't nobody say nothing. I mean, so anyhow, so my problem with the post is, you got, where do I begin? You got 5 kids. Yeah. And you're currently pregnant with number 6. You are in utero with a baby. The last thing you should be thinking about right now is a date or dating or single guys, period. The last thing you should be thinking about is that. Like, you need to put yourself in timeout. Like, you need to sit down.
Yeah, like the first 5 times you didn't figure out how it works.
My great grandmother would say, you need to go sit down somewhere for real. Because, I mean, now there's some of the background we don't know. Maybe she was married and had 5 kids and got divorced and now, got pregnant. Maybe she was married, had 5 kids, had a 6th, and then maybe he did something. And so there's some details we don't know. But it ain't my fault those details were left out. Thereby, I have to come to certain conclusions. One of those conclusions that I come to is that you got multiple baby daddies. And on top of that, you probably don't make the best choices in life. And on top of that, you may not have kind of the best, yeah, that's a good word. Yeah. You definitely don't have the best picker. And you probably don't have the scruples to keep some things to yourself. Well, obviously, there's some things you don't keep to yourself. But even in terms of information, this is not a good look. It's just not a good look. The last thing you need to be thinking about is dating or finding a guy, even if it's possible. Like, you don't even need to be thinking about that. So anyhow, that's my issue that's one of my issues with the post.
Well, and I'm going to go ahead and kind of smooth this over a little bit and go like Kirk said, we don't know the whole story. We don't have all the information. We're just going off the post. But what I can say is a lot of our fodder for our episodes and for what we talk about comes from social media. And what I'm starting to realize is that a lot of the ladies we see on social media, especially in the dating groups and the singles groups, things like that, may not have the best pickers, may not have a lot of accountability buddies or people holding them accountable for their lives, or maybe they just don't have that common sense. What I'm assuming is, and this is maybe just to make myself feel better, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but what I'm assuming is a lot of the better women, a lot of the solid women out there who have their stuff together, they're pooping a group and are have a good picker and are creating things in the world, probably aren't all over social media, probably aren't out there. They're probably quiet, doing their life, and we just don't hear about them. And so we keep getting the ones that have these crazy stories out here on social media. It's hard to even say, but why would you put that out on social media? I mean, if you're going to put it in a group, make it a private group chat or talk to your girlfriends. Why would you put that on the internet that is there forever?
I know why. I know why. And it's the same reason why they post selfies. It's the same reason they put on a nice dress and post it. There's the same reason why they post some pictures with some cleavage or something like that. It's because that social media is an echo chamber of validation for whatever it is you want to believe. Not necessarily the truth, it's whatever it is you want to believe. And if you want to believe you're a good person, then that social media is an echo chamber for you being a good person. Because when you post that selfie, you're doing it so that you get all the likes and the hearts and the this and that, blah blah blah. Oh, girl, you look fine, blah blah blah. And when you post, even comments or posts like the one we're talking about, it's because you know that your social media is curated of people who like the stuff that you like and like the stuff that you post. In other words, people that are going to fanboy you or fangirl you no matter what. And so that's why people put that stuff out there. Doesn't make sense. And again, you putting this stuff out here like in public, like this is like public information kind of stuff. You put it out there for the whole world to see, and that stuff don't go away. And so, but what does that scenario look like in terms of a date? You're going to show up to a first date and I don't even know how many months, but you are like you got a baby inside of you. Like, this is just kind of the reality situation. Again, speaking, for guys, from a guy perspective, showing up, what do you have to offer? You don't have priority. You probably don't have, even like financial partnership. You probably bringing other men along with you because you got baby daddies. I mean, you at some point in the near future, you're going to have a newborn at home. Like you're going to be waking up and doing feedings. Like you're going to be, what in a dating scenario, this is why I say you don't even need to be thinking about that from a guy perspective. What do you even have to offer to a good guy, a guy that has choices of women? And the reason I say a guy that has choices of women, because that's who you want. You want a guy who can get other women besides you. Whatever you quantify, you want to put it height, body build, income, whatever. But either way, you want a man that's desirable to other women. And so man that's desirable to other women, in other words, man that has choices. What do you have to offer to that man on day one, first date? Like, why is that even a question?
My mom would say go
down somewhere.
My only advice to this particular situation would be move to Utah, join the Mormon church, get you some sister wives.
You gotta have come on, man. You can't bring 6 kids into a sister wife. I've watched them shows, man. You can't bring those 6 kids into no sister wife scenario.
I'm just saying, if you want to go someplace that may be more open to you having 5 kids along the way and still dating, maybe you got to share the dude, but maybe you have some help with diaper duty. I don't know. Just saying.
Dude, I mean, these things, especially like I said, from a guy perspective, these things need to be said, man. They're like this. The reality check that needs to be involved in some of these scenarios is tremendous in terms of what the truth is. I don't care what people will tell you, because people will tell you the truth. But when you need to know what the truth is, I think you already know the truth. I think you kind of go places to get alternate truths that you really want to believe. So speaking of alternate truths,
we need to alternate our truths into a break.
Boom. You know what I'm saying? It's your boys, Madmen of Masculinity, KLDC, 12:20 a.m. in the Mile High City and on the interwebs everywhere. Boom.
So yeah, if you're watching, you can comment. You can tell us how you feel about this topic. If you're down for some uncomfortable truths, or if you love the comforting lies. We can work with you on that, but this is more about uncomfortable truths.
This is kind of uncomfortable truth thing, man. We're streaming this as we're recording this for our show, so right now it's got a little break action. But for sure, you can throw it in comment, in the comment section if you're watching this live. I'd like to know what you think. Are we jerks? Are we crazy? Are we on to something? I don't know.
Well,
maybe all of the above.
Probably depends on who you ask.
Maybe all of the above.
Depends on who you ask.
That would be far fetched. All right.
And we're back.
Yeah, we're back. We're back.
Masculinity.
We're back.
KLDC 12:20 a.m. in the Mile High City. And ladies and gentlemen, we're talking uncomfortable truths today.
Yeah.
We're not even going to go with comforting lies. This is all about the uncomfortable truths. And as we usually talk 4 men and 2 men, this is definitely a 4 men and 2 men episode. But starting off, we were talking about this young lady with her 5 kids, 1 in the oven, who is wondering and hoping that she can be dating. And I agree with Kirk. I think that your hands are full, honey. Like your priority needs to be children diapers, raising them. Put dating on the back burner until about 20 years from now. Once the kids are teenagers or out of the house, and then you can be in the silver dating world or whatever. But yeah, you don't want to be dating right now. And I don't know any guys. Actually, let me put it this way: I don't know any good guys with their head on their shoulders that want to date a single mother with 5 kids that's pregnant right now. Now, the guys that will date you, you probably don't really want. And that's what I'm wondering about this situation. Is your picker so broken that you're just taking what you can get and you're not picking the best dudes?
Right. Now, I would say not even is her hands full.
Her house is full.
House is full. Kitchen table's full. Dude, the car is full. Yeah. Like, if you're a dude, you can't. Is there room for you even in the vehicle?
You gotta have a bus. You gotta get a
dude. You gotta roll up with a straight up magic school bus, man. You know what I'm saying? One of the ones with the jungle gym in the back. I mean, man, yeah. And so this scenario is kind of mind boggling, man. And the reason why I think that post trips me up so much is because if that was a man, he would be eviscerated.
Oh, yeah.
And can you imagine if a man got on social media saying, yeah, I got 5 kids out there and I got somebody pregnant right now, but how about me and you go on a date? How would that be, ladies, if you showed up to a first date and that was the guy's story?
Well, we
all know the answer. Yeah. I mean, it'd be like, ooh, girl, no, you didn't. No, he didn't tell me he got Shaquita pregnant. He got Keisha pregnant. He got Cynthia.
Yeah, but see, that's one of the things that is a harsh truth that we got to look at, because these ladies know these guys who are running around because they're cute, or they got game, or whatever the attractiveness is. But these ladies, all these ladies with these multiple baby daddies, a lot of times they're going after these same guys who keep knocking up different women, not holding them accountable. So I mean, right there, gentlemen, what are y'all doing? I mean, there was a dude or multiple dudes that participated in this, or like, what is going? Like, what? I'm thinking with a little head.
I'm not even on that dude yet. I mean, we'll get to that dude. I still got issues with this post. I still got at least 1 or 2 more issues with this post. Right, we'll Another issue with this post is that you say you got 5 daughters and you have another child on the way. But for sure, we know you got 5 daughters. So you're already advertising to creeper out there that, hey, I got 5 daughters at home. I mean, do we think about that? Do we think about, I'm letting the world know that I'm single for sure, and I'm even going to say somewhat desperate enough to put that out there, in public spaces. But at the same time, I got 5 little girls at home. Hey, guy that might have and I'm somewhat impressionable and somewhat vulnerable, whatever, insecure, all that kind of stuff. Are you not advertising for a creeper to show up into your household just for the sake? And see, this is why I tell women, don't post your kids on social media. Definitely don't be posting beach pictures or pool pictures of bathing suit pictures on social media, and definitely not dating websites and all that kind of stuff. Because I mean, you're advertising to creeper to show up and use you as an opportunity to get to your daughters. You said you got 5 daughters at home. Do you think that's not going to trigger somebody that's twisted, that might have some of those slants to be like,
Yeah, you're basically advertising a creeper buffet. Is basically what you're doing. You're advertising a creeper buffet, which, I mean, I hadn't even thought of that. I was still just so blown away by the post, by the whole scenario and situation. I hadn't even thought about that, but that's true. Like, you're putting this out there on the internet that forever, that goes everywhere. Like, you don't know who's reading that. You don't know who has access to that. Now he has your business. He has your status. You're single, 5 girls, 1 on the way. There's a lot that can be read into that. Now, we don't know the whole situation, but just from that post, there's a lot that we can read into that, and it really is disturbing.
One of the things that I read into, and it tells me now, I kind of read between the lines a lot of times anyway, but reading the details of what was shared on that post, which was a lot of information shared on that post, too much information in my opinion. But either way, one of the things I pick up is you can get a man, but you can't keep a man. You can get a man such that he will impregnate you, but he won't stay with you. So there's something there that I can take that a whole new step, a whole next level, a half step to say, okay, you're probably a freak. Mm-hmm. Like you might be really. I mean, these are again, we're talking like form. These are thoughts that a guy that would prompt a guy to think certain things. One of the things you might think is, "Ooh, she's good in bed."
Well, at least she's at least you can get her in bed, obviously.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
Now, does guys stay around afterwards?
Probably not. Obviously not, because 5 daughters, and like we said, we don't know if it was a marriage thing or not, but
none of those details were included. She should probably at least have included those details. If that was the case, give herself some credit, blah, 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 blah. But at the same time, she didn't. So again, speaking from guy perspective, I jumped to certain conclusions, and certain conclusions that I jumped to, involve the fact that you can get a man, which most women can get a man, at least for a good half hour, maybe 15 minutes, maybe 5, I don't know, something, but whatever. Most women can, I told you about that. Most women can get a man for a few minutes, but dude, I mean, but can you keep one? Like that for some reason, they don't like to stick around. So you probably a little bit cray-cray. And if you cray-cray, then that means you're good in bed, but not good in the head. Ooh, you're good in bed, but you ain't good in the head.
It's the hot, crazy scale all over again. But
is her name Crystal? No.
I don't know. It's probably Madison or Diamond. Or
that's the hot, crazy matrix. Anybody named Crystal.
Right. But, there's so much to read into that. We don't know the whole story, but it's just all I see are red flags. It's like a Chinese communist parade going on right there.
Yes.
Because to be in that situation, and I even had the thought, like, I hope she is just clowning us. She's trolling us. I hope this is just a joke. Because, to honestly get on a singles group and to make that post with no background, no like, oh, well, I just got divorced and I have this and this, some sort of background, just to leave it open-ended. Like, I have 5 kids, 1 on the way. Is there any hope for me to date? And it's just like, are you out of your mind? Like, where is the reality check? There's so many things there with the 5 kids. Obviously, you can get that in bed. Obviously, you don't know anything about birth control or contraception or how fertilizing the egg works, apparently, because you had 5 opportunities to learn and didn't learn. Maybe you had, was it quintuplets, so maybe it was just one time that I doubt that. So why are you even considering dating? And then to that point, ladies, you got to start being honest with your girlfriend. And I get it, maybe all these ladies that were replying with this, yeah, you go girl, because my cousin, he married somebody with 6 kids and they had a great big family. And why can you're always talking about the exception. What about the rule? The rule is any guy that you probably would not want to jump into that situation, because we've talked about it before. He's going to come in to your situation with your 5 kids, with 1 on the way. He takes on 100% of responsibility. Actually, in this case, more like 600% responsibility.
For real.
He's got no authority, because those are your kids, and you can't make him a priority. Come on. If you have 1 kid, maybe there's some wiggle room and you have some extra time. 5 kids, 1 on the way. How can you even say that you can have any time for that guy?
And it'll be at least 18 years before you're an empty nester. Mm-hmm. If you're 30, then that dude is going to be almost 50 before you're an empty nester. At the earliest. That's if you don't have any more kids. But either way, it's going to be a long time before any of that begins to open up. And all along the way, you got baby daddy drama. All along the way, you got somebody else involved in your finances, somebody else involved in your decisions and your planning. If that guy's coming into the picture, good guy, he's thinking, what's it going to be like when we want to go on vacation? Like, hold up. I got to pay for all of them. Because you probably don't have a booming career if you got 5 kids and pregnant with another one. You probably don't have a booming career. You know what I'm saying? So you're probably not like, you know what? I'm taking care of all of us. I'm taking care of all of us. Like, this bus is mine. You know, I'm buying 7 plane tickets. You just buy yours. Like, it ain't working that way, right? I mean, you know, man, you ain't going to Disney with that many kids. So, but the guy coming into the scenario, good guy, is thinking all of these kind of things of like, wait a minute. You know, so you got to understand this is the scenario when you put all that stuff out there, and then you know, and then when you get the feedback that you get of, girl, you know, yeah, girl, you can do this, woo. Meanwhile, somebody should have been saying, girl, somebody need to have been DMing that one and like, all right, you know, let me grab you by the elbow and pull you to the side and be like, look, you need to go sit down somewhere or something. Or you need to pick a man that got, you know, something.
You need to go find a.
You need to put out a man that's got better timing.
What you need to do is get onto onlyfarmers.com. You'll find a
Something
with a lot of land that needs a lot of help.
His pullout game is trash. I'm just saying. I mean, you gotta have, man. You gotta, you know, you gotta have some common sense, man. You just do, and you know, yeah.
Well, and that's the thing. And one reason we're doing this episode and so passionate about it is because what we see, and maybe I'm right, maybe the good ones are just quiet, and that's why all we see is the craze out on social media, but there's got to be some accountability. And the reason that the common sense is so uncommon is the fact that common sense comes with personal accountability. We just did the personal accountability episode. You have to be personally accountable to yourself, and if you got a whole family, you got a whole tribe of kids, you got to be responsible to them as well, which means you have to have an extra responsibility. And all this whole thing screams of is no responsibility, no accountability, no self-awareness, no even just like, it's like she's living in a fantasy world, watching TV, thinking that, you know, that's reality, and this world is, you know, not. I don't know where her head's at. I don't know the whole situation, but it's baffling, kind of dumbfounding, and it makes me a little nuts.
Yeah, this is the kind of thing that we find, I think, in our culture a little bit these days of, you know, again, from a male perspective, you know, we have no choice but to see value from the outside in. And I think, you know, commonly these days from the female perspective, they get to see value from the inside out. Doesn't really matter how great of a person you are. That doesn't determine your market value. If you had a brand new showroom floor Pinto given to you right now, would you drive it? Probably not. What if I told you it had 0 miles, never been driven, but it's a brand new 1978 Pinto? Would you drive that?
I don't know. It's classic.
Come on, man.
No.
Exactly. Value is from the outside in, not the inside out. Doesn't matter how great of a person you are. Girlfriend, you got 5 kids. You pregnant with one. You need to go sit down somewhere. So let's sit down, man. Let's sit down ourselves. I need to cool off, man. I need to drink some man nectar. Somebody on
me. We'll be right back after this little break. Mad Men and Masculinity on KLDC, 12:20 a.m. See you in a bit. You need to sit down somewhere.
You need to sit down somewhere, for real. That's what you need to do, is sit down somewhere.
Lord have mercy. So, yeah, I see y'all watching. Make some comments. Let us know, because I know you didn't see this post. But we all saw it. And it is great.
Indeed, man.
When we come back, we'll bring in the dude some. So ladies who are feeling a little, you know, put upon and stressed out, we're going to bring the dude.
Should we do a segment on the comments and then talk about the dude, or should we do the dude and then talk about the comments?
No, we'll do the comments. We'll just keep it going.
And then we'll finish up on the dude. That is like that needs to be said.
What that is
yeah.
all the dudes looking at shoplifting.
Exactly. With Rod Tidwell say shopping the pootie from the shoplifting the pootie from a single mom. You never shoplift a pootie from a single mom. You never do that. All right. And we're back. We're back. Mad Men and Masculinity, baby. 12:20 a.m. KLDC in the Mile High City and on the interwebs everywhere. Everywhere you get a podcast, I mean, social media platforms, YouTube, Facebook, all that kind of stuff, man. We out there, we doing our thing, and we talking about some uncomfortable truths, man. You gotta go back and find a video or whatever. If you, to figure out the whole post that we're talking about, all of this originated from a social media post of, and so yeah, I mean, so not only was the post, man, but then you get the comments. Here we go.
Yeah, that was what got me the most. Like I said, I understand she's in her situation. She's just reaching out. She wants a bit of advice. She wants, wants some attention. The comments. I didn't see one comment that was like, girl, go sit down somewhere.
Yeah.
Check yourself. Are you crazy? Talking about dating. All of them were like throwing this fantasy out there of the exception, not the rule, saying, oh, yeah, well, this fairy tale of somebody in some long lost relative married some lady with 8 kids and they lived in the shoe. I don't know. I mean, it's all fairy tales, and it makes me nuts because, like, ladies, if you're not checking each other, then when we try to do it, we're the bad guys, and then you all gang up on us because we're just trying to be honest. We're trying to give you a little uncomfortable truth because we want to help.
Right.
But that's not what you want. You want the comforting lies and to be told that, yes, there's hope for you. Well, there is, but in about 20 years.
I want to help you get a little bit of reality. Take a spoonful of this truth coming at you. Because the scenario is totally off whack. It's totally out of balance. And when you hear all the and see, I think, again, from a guy perspective, we are kind of forced to live by probability, not possibility. There's a whole lot of things possible, but there's more things than that are probable, right? And so we don't get to just kind of, piece out on reality and go into fantasy land. We didn't play, T and all that kind of stuff, and we didn't do all that with dolls and whatever. We didn't. Now I might have put on some underoos and played, Batman and Robin with my cousin. We put a towel around our neck. We did that, but we were still like punching each other in the face, right? So we had to deal with some reality and all that. Get us a big old cardboard box and draw it out like a car and all. Well, you get the point. But we have to deal with probabilities of, okay, how this is going to go. And these comments made it seem like it was very likely for her to find a good man. Uh-huh. And when I say a good man, I'm talking like a man that other women would find desirable.
Yeah. Yeah, those comments were like, oh, yeah, they're so-and-so, you're going to find the right guy. He's going to love all your kids, and he's going to love you. He's going to take care of you. And yeah, you might find that guy, but that is not the guy you want. Obviously, your picker's broken.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's some issue going on there mentally, or just, there's no self accountability. There's just no proper perspective on the world, and you're 5 daughters, 1 in the oven, talking about dating. That right there it's just red flags and flares and fireworks going off like run.
That shows a disconnect from reality. Yeah. It really does. In my opinion, it just does. And these are obviously our opinions, right? But in my opinion, that shows a disconnect from reality in terms of the fact that you haven't accepted where you are and what you probably should be focused on versus what you are focused on. Now, I got junk in my trunk. I got, a past. I got whatever. So this is, I am not trying to pull the morality card. I'm not trying to talk about who, better than or none of that kind of stuff. But I got to a point in my life where I had to go sit down.
Well, and that's the biggest difference, and that's why we're gonna bring the dudes in this because there were guys involved in this, obviously, but the fact that there's no personal accountability, there's no just even grasp on reality, and to add on that, all of the comments that this lady was getting was, yeah, you go girl, and it's gonna happen, and you're gonna have your fairy tale, and it's all sunshine and rainbows. Not one of them was like, it might not be a good time for you. This might be a time for you to sit down and take personal responsibility of the kids you already have, the kids that's coming on, and all that stuff. And maybe that's the thing. Maybe it's financially driven. Maybe she's hoping to find somebody, some beta male, big bucks guy that's going to come in and take care of her and her kids and all that. Maybe her well has run dry, and so she's looking for somebody else to do that. But no good man, no man who's grounded, with his head on straight, who is somebody you probably want, is going to want that situation. And it's just a numbers situation. It's not personal. It's a simple mathematical situation. Why would a guy who, as a man, paternity is such an important thing to us, want to come into a situation where there's already 5 girls and another kid on the way? Obviously, the paternity is not his. Obviously, he's going to be coming in and taking full responsibility of the kids, and that's what you want him to do. You want him to take care of you and provide and protect and all that. What is in it for him? Maybe he's like a saint and he wants to build the kids zoo and create his own football team or baseball team or whatever. I don't know, gymnastics team, but it's just not reality. Most guys, 99 out of 100, aren't going to want that.
Yeah. You know, you got starting 5 and 1 coming off the bench at this point. And so the question is, does he want to coach that team? Right? I mean, those aren't his players. You know, he didn't have anything to do with them players. Like those are players from the previous administration. Right? So you fielding those starting 5 and you still got somebody to come in if somebody else gets in foul trouble. I mean, and so from his perspective, that's the mindset that exists in terms of you putting yourself in a dating scenario. Now, you know, it comes down to maybe here's some consequences to this whole thing, right? Guess what? You know, if you was having unprotected sexual activity, you know, recently and so recently enough that you still pregnant, so it has been less than 9 months anyway, you know, you probably should have thought about some of that stuff. You probably should have been thinking about dating and finding a good man at least several kids ago.
Yeah.
At least several kids ago. I mean, that's just one of the realities of kind of truth and consequences. And so the comments that people, you know, and I think women do each other a disservice when you don't be honest with your friends, when you don't pull up to the side, when you don't just kind of lean in and be like, girlfriend, you know, have one of them girlfriend conversations. I mean, we've talked about like you and your dating, and you know, I'm just like, dude, you know what this means, right? You know, you want to have kids at this age, blah 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 blah. You know, but that's how we get down, you know, and vice versa. You know, and so women need to begin to have those kind of things, but we as guys also have to recognize that women don't live in that kind of world.
Maybe we're wrong. Maybe they are promoting and being, you know, a promoter to this girl in public, and then behind the scenes going, girl, I don't know.
I'm gonna doubt that.
But I'm gonna step back on my soapbox about social media and a lot of the people, you know, it's the same group of people, like you said. It's a echo chamber.
Mm-hmm.
So of course she's gonna find the people that have her same mindset, so they're not realistic, they're all in that kind of fantasy land. So these are the ones that she didn't get answers from. Well, you know, results, often harsh, always fair. What are your results? Maybe it's time to change your group of people that you're hanging out with. Maybe it's time to look outside your normal circle for some advice, some guidance, some coaching, something. Because unless you're trying to beat the lady with the 19 kids, you're on that path. Like, it might be time to look at some other influences.
Yeah. And here's the other thing: you don't get to be picky. At this point, you ain't gonna like this. You're not gonna like what I'm about to say. You don't get to be picky. You don't get to be picky about where he works, what he does for a living, what he looks like, what his hair is like, what his teeth is like, what his breath smells like. You don't, I mean, if he got plumber's crack, you don't get to be picky at this point. You don't get to be like, I don't want to settle for a man. I want to, you know, this, I want him to look this and blah, blah. You don't get to do that anymore. Like those days are gone. Those days are past. You know, those best years are behind you. Those best, you know, those are several kids ago, if nothing else. And so you don't get to now sit back, young lady, and be picky. So if you continue, as you continue now, I hope you well, I wish you well. But as you go down this road, you need to understand that your audience has now changed. Your population set has changed. You are not in that crowd anymore. Guess what? This guy, you know, might not have the body that you've always admired on these other dudes. This guy who's this good man, you know, he might not have the great job. He definitely ain't 6 feet, 6-pack, you know, 6 figures. He definitely ain't none of that. I mean, period. You can give that up.
He's definitely not a big 6.
Here's some truth. he might be the big 3. he might be 3 feet. 300 pounds with 3-pack. He's got an upper, a mid, and a low. But I'm telling you, this is the reality. Here's some truth. The truth is, you made some choices along the way that included other kids with other men. And here's the point that you are in life. Now you got to look at the hand that you have, not the hand you were dealt. You were not dealt this hand. These were choices. You have to look at the hand that you have now. And you say, okay, what's the best I can do out of this hand? It's like playing spades. It's like I got a 3, maybe 4. I got a 3 and a possible. So you don't get to be picky.
No, and that's why I know it sounds harsh, but we're really looking out for your own best interest, because the reason you say be single and focus on your children that you have and the one that's coming and all this stuff. You need to do that because I guarantee you, ladies, or lady in particular, the guy who will accept that is not somebody you want. Because there's something off there. The fact that he will come in and say, yeah, I'll take on your 5 kids plus that one. And maybe he's a long haul truck driver who's gone 5 days a week and is only home on the weekends and he just wants to come home to a full house. Maybe, but you're better off being single, taking care of your kids, doing the best you can. Maybe go join a village with a bunch of other single moms that are raising their kids. You guys can support each other. But I'm just saying that most guys that you want will not want this. In a lot of my dating past, I came into prepackaged scenarios. Most of my past girlfriends were single mothers. And I came into that, granted, they had 1 child, not 5 with 1 on the way. So that was, a little more, there was an opportunity for maybe more or whatnot. But a man who wants to come into that situation is either going to be broken or damaged or crazy or looking at your girls as like a buffet. Something. So
yeah, and we're gonna get into, because there's a dude twist to this whole thing too, and so we're getting into the dude twist here.
I don't think we got off.
No, in this last segment here, we're getting into the dude part of it all. But again, girlfriend, in terms of the truth is, seriously, you got Tito, you got Jermaine, you got Michael, you got what's the other two? I don't remember, man. But then you also got Janet and Reedy. You got something that ain't performing on stage. Like you know what I'm saying? You got the lead singer, the drummers, you got the bass, you got the guitar, and you got a horn section. And so guess what? It's all changed for you, and especially when it comes down to the options of guys that you're gonna have available. And there's probably some red flags of some guys you should probably look out for. And that's what we'll get into here next.
Well, just before we go to this break, we had a comment. We're gonna respect her, keep her anonymous. But one of our fans made the comment that having a child is a huge thing. Respecting those children is a huge thing. And when you have 5 daughters and 1 on the way, and you're looking to date, what about the kids? What about raising the kids? What about doing what's best for the kids? All I hear is me. What about me? You got other responsibilities. Your life is not yours anymore. You have children. Your life is about raising those kids and doing the best for them. And I don't know you. I don't know the situation, but I feel for those kids if they're gonna have a parade of stepdaddies and boyfriends coming through the house, because you can't accept reality that your life is not yours anymore. It's about those kids. It's sad to me.
And you better not leave none of them alone with the dude for a long time. Long time. Hey, man, we need a break, man. And we're going to come back and finish this up with the dude part. There's a dude angle to this whole thing. So we're going to come back and, we coming back. We circling back on that for show, for shizzle. KLDC 1220 AM, Mad Men and Masculinity. We'll be right back.
Man, this is one of those ones. It could be like the worst month.
I'm telling you, dude.
I'm like, what in the world? We started off with personal responsibility, and this is what comes up. It's like, what?
So I don't see comments on this side. So somebody commented about.
Yeah, somebody commented, and she was like, thank you. Having a child is a huge thing. Respecting those children, but she's also like, please keep me anonymous. I'm like, I respect that. This is one of those episodes.
Do we both know who it is? Yeah. Okay, all right.
But yeah, it's definitely one of those episodes. I respect that.
Yeah, I get it.
I don't want to put you on blast.
Which, we didn't even say who the person was. Like, we didn't put her name. I don't even know if I really remember her name.
I don't know her.
I don't know her either. Holy mackerel.
All right, guys, we're coming for you. You're next.
Man Nectar. Body armor. Holla at us, body armor. Boom.
And we're back.
Yeah, that's right. We back. We back. So what? We back. Yeah, we back. We back.
I know you was hoping we would end on the last note.
For real. I know somebody out there trying to hit that cancel button on us and cancel us.
Trying to turn us down.
For real.
Can't handle the truth.
Can't handle the truth. I want the truth. You can't handle the truth. Man, we're talking. All right, yeah. Let's get it. So
I'm gonna get in my man stance.
Uh-oh.
It's time to go with y'all guys.
Uh-oh.
I mean, what? I get it. Okay, let me just put it this way. I get it. You just wanted some booty. You just wanted some sex.
You wanted to shoplift.
You wanted to shoplift. You wanted the easy peasy. And this lady now has 5 kids, which I get it. Once the seed is dropped, it's up to her. Guys have no more say about what happens and whether you keep the kid or not keep the kid or whatever. But gentlemen, wrap it up. Pull out something. I mean, come on. What is going on here? Why are you taking this low-hanging fruit and then paying her bills for 18 years because you went to school? You know how this works. Come on, don't stop. Pull out, man.
Dude, we did this, there's this whole my body, my choice. And, we just want to sign off on anything that a person or even, a woman wants to do and all this other kind of stuff. I can do whatever I want, but at the same time, when we all heard that Nick Cannon had like 4 or 5 kids last year alone, we were like, but the fact that he's, very wealthy and, blah, blah, blah.
Much longer.
Well, yeah, you keep, but so there's a level of judgment that goes along with that. And so from a guy perspective, one of the posts, and this is where it took a little left turn for me in the comment section. One of the guys chimed in, a guy, I don't even know the guy.
Probably one of those simps trying to get in on that.
This dude put the imp in simp. I mean, he chimed in and he was like, I like dating single moms. And then to me tells me that he makes a regular thing out of dating single moms. Like there's a trail of tears behind him. First of all, and then they went back and forth, and then I think, she was like, really, even one with 5 kids? And he was like, yeah, I think that's hot, or I think that's sexy.
Red flag, creepy zone.
Man, you can't get a bigger red flag than that. First of all, this dude is putting it out on social media in front of every other dude and everybody and their grandmama that you willing to sign up for that. So you already, as a dude, like, you went beyond simping, man. You just go aiming straight for low-hanging fruit. And you only have one thing in mind, and that one thing in mind is she's a freak. She obviously, doesn't mind, opening the knees. And man, I'm gonna get here. I'm gonna get in, get mine. Get in. And so from a guy perspective, I was like, So yeah, us as guys, man, we got to be better than that. Like seriously, do you really want that smoke?
Yeah, I mean that just it looks bad on him. It looks bad on her. They're having this conversation because basically he sees somebody who is just an easy target,
right?
And she's like, oh, really? Because the whole post was, is there hope for me? And he's like, oh, yeah, you're an easy target, which means he's got no game.
Yep.
He's not a high value man, or maybe he was and he's broken now. I don't know the situation. I don't know what's going on with that. But for him to be like, yeah, I love dating single moms. And you know what? Dating single mothers in your middle years is a fact of life, but you need to respect the fact that she's a single mother. You need to be honest with her. And most of the ladies I date nowadays, because of my age, they're single mothers. But we're honest with each other. We're like, okay, this is what's okay. This is what's not okay. We're not planning on joining households. We're not planning on getting married and having more kids. Because most of the girls are like, I'm not having more kids. Okay, great. I got that. So here's the parameters of our dating and relationship, whatever. Like now we know that. But to go after this low-hanging fruit, this poor lady who has 5 daughters, one on the way, obviously doesn't make the best decisions, and then to like a jackal or come in on that. I mean, it's just sad, and it kind of turns my stomach. Gentlemen, you got to have higher value in yourself. You got to make better choices when it comes to ladies, because it all falls on us. And I don't know her situation or how she's affording 5 children, what's going on the way. But I'm assuming that there's 2 or 3 gentlemen who are paying child support, paying alimony, paying something. And that's the biggest issue, guys. Like, we see, because we're taught from jump that you can make choices. Here's the repercussion. Choose wisely. What we're seeing, especially with this post, is you made some very bad choices, but you haven't learned from those repercussions, and you think, oh, well, I can still have my fairy tale. No, you made your choices. Now it's time to accept reality and move on and be the best mother you can be. And gentlemen, leave her alone.
Yeah.
Leave her alone.
Again, we as guys, we got to be better than that. We just do. We got to be better than that. Like that. First of all, to me, again, when I see the response, from a dude kind of going in like that, I go back to what's the motive? Like, because seriously, like, high value man with options why would that be your public option on social media? Like, why would you go so far as to claim that in front of everybody on social media? I mean, and so I go straight to, okay, did he pick up on the 5 daughters?
Yeah, I wonder.
I go straight to, okay, what is he in it for? Because he's not going to get really anything. Like, there's no upside. It's all downside. It's all down. Tell me an upside. I mean, maybe she's the greatest, sweetest, nicest girl ever. Maybe she's agreeable. Maybe she's submissive. Maybe she's, all that kind of stuff. Dude, there's still no upside.
No, he's the only thing he's thinking is free food.
I hit it and quit it.
And then this poor girl, and that's why, like, guys, we've got to be better. Because, I understand if you're, we all have our lonely times, we have our dry spells, things like that, but be better. Like, don't go there. Don't give false hope. And it's just every one of these situations, you're just causing damage. Don't be that guy. Be a better guy who is trying to uplift others, which means saying no, which means having some self-respect, some self-responsibility, and going, there's nothing really in this for me. I'm not going to go there.
Yeah.
Because what tends to happen is once you get, and I'm assuming in this situation with this lady, she is going to grab onto whatever she can. She's looking for a life vest, a life raft, a little circle be on the ship because she's gone overboard. She will grab onto anything. Don't be that guy, because a drowning person will take you down with them.
You can't simp. We gotta, man. I wish we could do an anti-simping campaign, man. Because I mean, just us as guys that will get on social media and give all this flowering attention, all this other kind of stuff to a woman who hasn't earned it or deserves it. That right there is like a party foul. Like, that's 15 yards, loss of down. I mean, you might get a flagrant 2 on that one, man. I mean, that's one of them. That's just not a good look for guys. Period. And you already know that there's no good way for that to pan out in terms of, even if they do get together, we know as guys what he's really in it for. Because if I remember correctly, looking at her picture, she's not an ugly woman, but she's not, but at the same time, we all know, like, come on, dude, like, for real, young, and like, you just want to, and then the narrative will turn around to all of these guys out here, all they want is sex. And well, first of all, apparently you keep giving it. But beyond that, like, what else would a guy be in it for? Especially a guy coming at you like that on social media. Like, that's just not a good look, period, in any kind of way for any guy. But a guy of high value, he ain't doing that.
No, guy of high value is a guy that sees red flags, he just shakes his head, moves on. And to have these dudes simping like that and to basically just running our name as men through the muck again, because it's not going to end well. He's going to go in there, he's going to hit it and quit it, he's going to be heartbroken again. It's going to be another all men are this and all men are that. Well, comes back to personal responsibility. Obviously, she's not taking a lot of personal responsibility. She's looking for people to give her comforting lies and tell her there's going to be all butterflies and rainbows and that she's going to find her Prince Charming. It's going to take her and her 6 kids to his castle in the mountains and, start a new basketball team. But this is not how it goes. And somebody has got to, and that's why we do this, give you the uncomfortable truth and be like, no, get you some cats, go find you some ladies, raise your kids the best you can, because now your life is those children. Your life is all about raising those kids. And if you're focused on dating when you have that many kids, you're being selfish. You're not being a good mother. And I hate saying that, but that's the truth. It doesn't matter. Your life is about those children. Your life is now over. You are a mother until those children are out of the house. And hopefully that's 18 years. But I'm assuming in this situation, a lot of those kids will probably be leaving at 15, 16. Just gotta go.
Dude, I got to figure it out.
What's that?
It's January. It's the beginning of January, which means we just went through November and December, which means there was a bunch of movies on Hallmark Channel where there was like all of these fairy tale kind of stories. It happens in some small town. Some guy in a flannel shirt, came into the coffee shop out of nowhere, and she was sitting over in the corner drinking coffee, and he walked in. Is she looking at me like that? Or super producer Nikki Nicole was giving me the look in there. But anyhow, and he walks in and she says, "Oh no, but I can't. I have 5 kids and I'm pregnant." He says, "I still love you anyway. You know what? I bought the brand new mansion up on top of the hill, and
how much more did the football team.
Yeah, you know what? I wanted to start a band, and we can do this. I'm a band promoter, and this is gonna work out great. This is gonna work out fantastic. It just doesn't work that way. But I figured out that's what it is. She saw a Hallmark movie over Christmas time, and it was some dude in a flannel shirt in a coffee shop with some baking and some cookies and some restaurant that he needed to save or whatever it was. And I'm telling you, that's why she thinks there's hope.
Yeah. Well, that's what happens when you watch Hallmark Channel and Disney.
It's fake.
And you don't leave the house and have some reality and ground yourself into what is really going on, because that is a bad business deal all the way around. Because any guy who's going to accept you like that, probably not a guy you want to have around your kids. Probably not a guy that's actually going to be healthy for you. But maybe you're going to take what you can get. But gentlemen, don't go there. And I mean, I know we're going to get a lot of flack for girls being like, you're telling the guys not to date single mothers. I'm like, I'm not saying that at all. If you got 5 kids on the way, you need to quit, and guys need to leave you alone.
But what we are saying is, when you are a single mom, for example, this is one example, like one lane of the highway, kind of one of the things that stands out in the story. If you are a single mom, particularly of 5 probably relatively younger kids, you know, and you got one inside of you like developing right now, I mean, you got to know that that's going to be something that a guy coming into a scenario, these are what he's thinking. These are thoughts that this guy's thinking. Either what's the opportunity here, or what's the opportunity here? I mean, those are the choices coming into the scenario, man. So it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, there is no upside. I mean, we've talked about how even in today's world, marriage is really a bad business plan for most men coming into it, just because of how the court systems are and everything else. And to be in that situation and expect a guy to come in and just take on that, well, that just makes me go, well, what's his issue? What's his deal?
No.
What is the opportunity he's looking at? And it can't be good.
Probably not. It's probably not a good scenario at all. So yeah, man, that's my take. First of all, you know, with the post, man, I think, come on, girlfriend, last thing you need to be thinking about is dating right now. You need to go somewhere and sit down. I mean, keep growing that baby inside of you. Taking them prenatal vitamins. You know, get you a partner to go to them classes. You probably been through classes already. You got 5 kids. You already know how to push and breathe, and they know you're at the hospital already. You ain't got to do the orientation. But you need to like chill and relax. You need to not worry about dating no time soon. And then on top of that, fellas, like seriously, we need to give it a break. I mean, like, we need to back off a little bit and stop simping publicly, and definitely stop, you know, going after low hanging fruit and going after, you know, somebody with any kind of agenda on our mind or something to get.
Yeah, I mean, this is all about self-respect, personal responsibility. You got to take personal responsibility. Now, you know what? Maybe there's an exception out there, and there's one guy who always wanted a big family and it's not worked out, but I doubt it. So you got to look at reality for what reality is. And ladies, social media, stop throwing out fairy tales. Somebody check these people when they're talking crazy. Gentlemen, check each other like you do on the court, on the golf course, wherever. Check each other. Make sure we're actually being good men, acting good ways, because we all make mistakes. We all come up with bad ideas. That's why you got to have your boys around to be like, no, that you need to not go there at all.
And ladies, you want some relationships advice, some dating advice? Holler at your boys.
Yeah.
Send us a message. You know, we'll do a whole topic about it.
Stop listening to the girls.
Yeah, do not listen to your girlfriends, because they're going to not tell you the truth. That's the moral of the story here. Ladies, don't listen to your girlfriends because they're lying.
If you want the truth, come holler at your boys.
That's right.
The truth. We might even put, you know, we might even try to wrap it up pretty and not give it to you harsh and straight. But if you want it real, this is where you come to. And on that note,
Madman out.